Hey guys, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge. Today we're taking a look at this Y-Start knife, the LK5014, and it has a sibling, this is the 5014. It has a sibling, the 5015, which is in a sort of a bluish anodization. I think it's anodization on the titanium. But this is the simple gray version, which I really like an awful lot. And as far as the color goes, that's the part I'm referring to right then. It's a nice, subtle kind of knife. It's almost a gentleman's kind of flipper in some ways, but it's a little bit big for that as well, perhaps, in some people's minds. But it's nice and thin and small and not stupid light, but quite light, under 5 ounces for sure. And, a fairly straight blade, a bit of a drop point, a swedge, saber grind, VG10 stainless steel. It's got a fuller with some holes in it. That's kind of decorative, and just some nice decorative touches on the handle as well. Right and left-handed. So I think most people are going to be interested in this flipper. So stay tuned for the full review coming at you right now. The first thing that I want to mention is that I got this knife at no cost. He also sent, well, not this one, but he also sent me this knife and another one. This comes from a gentleman who's got a store on AliExpress. It's called Y-Start Industrial and Trading. I think that's the name. I'll have it on the screen exactly what the name of the site is and a link to get there. The thing with most of the stores in China right now, they're having what they call their 11/11 sale. And on AliExpress, that sale starts right around the time this video goes live, like within an hour, give or take, of when this video goes live. There's a sale starting. So the prices that I give you for these knives, they're going to be on a special price for a short time just after this knife goes live. This knife here, which is a Y-Start, and it's a nice Tanto. I can give you a link for this. It normally sells for $57 US. It's going to be selling for $48 US. And this knife that I have still to review, and that review will be coming soon, 440C blade, it comes with different color handle scales, and it's got a flipper on it, or you can use your thumb in that hole and just scrape the table there. So this knife is normally $22, and it will be sold for like 18 and change. That's US dollars. So a nice good budget price for a relatively decent price, and I'll be doing this review soon, I hope, very soon. So this guy is what we're looking at today. And this is a good, I'm going to call it a big folder. It's a little bit over the average size of folders. When I say average, I'm talking about 3.5-inch blades. And this guy's got a 3.8-inch cutting edge and roughly a 5-inch handle. So it's almost 4 inches and right at 5 inches. So this is a big knife. My hands are large, bordering on extra large, and I still have this here, that much space when my hand is right at the fuller. So a reverse grip like this, you get a long reach that way. Just a regular grip is very comfortable. The side of the handle comes all the way back, and you can see a bit of it right there. If I turn it over, you can see a lot of the handle there. Pinch grip, you've got a big knife here in your hand. And this swedge across the tip on this drop point and this saber grind here make it a very good piercing knife. And with that gentle belly, it's also a great little slicer. Now you can put your index finger right on here if you're going to be doing a lot of slicing motion like this. You will probably end up injuring the inside of your index finger right there on the end of that sharpener's choil because that will poke you. If you want to do that like crazy, make this dull here. But if you're going to sharpen it, this is not a very wise move. Of course, you can do anything you want with your knife. It's your hand. Like I said, the steel is VG10. We've got stonewash on the flats, nice satin grind on the bevel and on the bevel of the swedge here. And those lines are nice and straight, perpendicular to the blade. This line here, it looks really, really good. And I'll give you some close-up pictures. And they did a good job with the grind on here. Of course, it's a frame lock, and lockup is excellent. Let's see if I can get some close-up pictures of this. So there you can see the lockup point. You've got a lock bar insert in here. I don't know if you can see it in this light exactly, but there's the 2 screws that hold it, and you might be able to see the little piece of steel that's part of that lock bar insert that behaves like an over travel stop. Now you can't really see it in there. I'll show you a picture of the inside. So there's an over travel stop. You can't overextend that. They put a tiny bit of jimping right there. Let's see if I can get the focus back. A little bit of jimping right in there so that when you're unlocking the blade, you can know for sure that you're getting it. Otherwise, you know, there's not a lot of extra room in there, but there's not any more needed. They did take a little bit of a swedge off of this side here as well, so that it's easy to get in there with your thumb. You've got this decorative milled effect on the back and on the belly of the blade, of the handle, I should say, right here. Little milled in section for your pocket clip. So your pocket clip is right or left, and it's a nicely milled pocket clip out of titanium as well. And it fits on either side. Lanyard holes in a perfect spot back here. Great placement for that. So it's out of the way, and you know, it's minimal. Small back spacer, and then it's open. So very, very nice. They did no skeletonizing, no milling out the inside of these liners, and so it's super, super easy to clean this knife. And the ball bearings in here, the ball bearings are ceramic, double row. And they've got a ceramic detent ball there as well. So this knife should wear very, very well. You've got this little 3-sided, I guess, sort of piece symbol kind of screw there. So you can use a flat driver to tighten and loosen that pivot if you need to. And the rest of the screws are all Torx. And they got pretty good tolerances. You know, your screwdriver, if it's a good quality screwdriver, will fit there nice and snugly and not have a lot of play to it. It's a good knife. Let's move into the dimensions. I'll try to zoom in the camera just a bit. The cutting edge is 9.65 centimeters, 3.8 inches. Blade length is 9.9 centimeters, 3.9 inches. So yeah, very close to 4-inch blade. The blade thickness is 4 millimeters, that's 0.1575 inches. The blade depth is 2.5 centimeters, that's 0.984 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind is about 0.65 millimeters, that's 0.0256 inches. So it's fairly robust at that edge. I would like it to be a bit thinner, but it's not bad. It actually was just a tiny bit thinner. It was about 0.63 before I sharpened it, but I've sharpened it up because I used this knife an awful lot until it needed to be resharpened, as I really loved carrying this knife. I still do, of course. So I've sharpened it now to 20 degrees per side, but when we got it, it was 20.6 degrees on that side and 21.1 degrees on this side. So that's not bad. So they did a good job sharpening this knife at the factory. The handle length is 12.7 centimeters. That's exactly 5 inches. The grip area, so between the flipper tab and this flat end here, is 11 centimeters, 4.33 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, is 1.26 centimeters. That's 0.496, so just under half an inch thick. And the handle depth this way is biggest right there, and that is 2.3 centimeters. That's 0.906 inches. And then the knife depth when the blade is closed is largest, right there at the end of the handle. Right here, it's a tiny bit less already. I'm not counting the flipper tab, so the widest section of the handle here when it's going into your pocket is 2.8 centimeters, 1.1 inch, and so it slowly gets less, and it's down to 1 inch here, and then it goes down quite a bit less at the end of the handle. The total length of this knife when the blade is deployed is 22.6 centimeters, 8.9 inches. So did I say 8-inch knife before? Yeah, 9-inch. It's almost 9 inches total. So that's why it's so big in the hand. But it's not a bulkiness in your hand. They made everything small enough that it fits comfortably in the hand, works very well, and looks quite good too. And it's just got a little bit extra length. Quite nice. You've got about 1 inch of the handle sticking out of your pocket. Let's see what that looks like. So you put the knife in your pocket and it goes right down to there. It's actually just over 1 inch. I'll measure that exactly. I forgot to measure that before. So the measurement will be on the screen right here, how much is sticking out. But it's not an awful lot, and it hides in the pocket quite well. I like it. I like it. I would like a bit deeper carry, but this isn't terrible. The pocket clip has got some milling right on the sides here. So it looks like it's getting narrower and then the head comes thick again, but really it's just slowly getting narrower until this rounded head. And then you've got a foot sticking out right there, and it's quite well made, quite well milled, and okay. The only complaint I have about this pocket clip is if you let these screws come a little bit loose, it might want to go down this way and rest on the frame lock arm. And if it rests just on the edge of it, you'll have it slip off and you'll feel a little click every once in a while. So your blade is deployed and now your frame lock arm is that way of the main frame. And then you can accidentally push the pocket clip that way while you're handling it. And then it will click a little bit as it steps down onto that side. All you have to do is align it properly and tighten up the screws properly. And you don't need to do excessive tightening. But I noticed it on mine. The screws just weren't super tight from the factory, the screws weren't all the way tight from the factory. And so I had that situation. All I had to do was loosen them both up and then push the pocket clip that way a little bit while I tightened them. And then now it doesn't move at all. It's just on there nice and stiff, no problem. Very nice. And of course, you have that problem not at all if you're left-handed. You put it on this side and it's going to sit there nice and flat no matter what. So that's a really good option. One thing I did notice, I started using this knife straight out of the package like I normally do. I don't do anything to the knife before I start my testing, and I just start using it. After about 30, 40 openings, I noticed that the pivot screw started opening up on its own. That is not new for Y-Start knives, unfortunately, but I've noticed it several times. Their pivot screws sometimes come undone. The male end and the female end, the tolerances of the screw threads might be a little bit off, and so then they can loosen easily. But that's not a big problem because I've shown you guys this product called VC3 by Vibratite. If you have not heard of this product by Vibratite or its sibling Drive Grip, you really need to learn about those. I'll have a link to that video right up here in this corner at the end of this video. Watch this video. This stuff's really good, especially for Y-Start knives. So that's not really a big concern for me at all. Unfortunately, this is a little bit harder and more expensive to get outside of USA. If you're in USA, you can get this at a really good price, especially compared to the rest of the world. So that backed off a little bit. I don't really like this style of this Y angle, this three-way piece symbol. Because if you don't have a three-way screwdriver, that means you're only going to put it in one side. And if it doesn't fit exactly, it's really easy to mar the sides of those with your driver. The other thing is you've got a flat titanium gray handle scale. You are going to start getting little marks on it. It's just inevitable. And since I carry all of the knives that I review, it doesn't stay in pristine condition. It has some marks on it. So if I go on and sell this knife, or if a Patreon supporter chooses this knife at the end of next month, they're going to get a knife that's in very good condition, but it'll show a little bit of wear on it. That's just because I actually use my knives before I do my reviews, unlike some reviewers. But each reviewer does their own style. I'm just telling you what mine is. Price for this knife. How much does this cost? If you buy it from, and I'll put the links below to the YStart dealer. He also has other brands like CH and Tucson and several others. I'll put the link down below in the description area below the video. If you're on a cell phone, there's a little triangle or something below this corner that you click on to expand it. And if you're on a computer, then just above the first comment, there's words that say show more. You just click on that and it expands that whole area. But right now, this is $79, but during the 11/11 sale, it will be $67.15. That's US. In Canadian dollars, it's $105.48, but it will be $89.66. In euros, it is 70.58, and it will be 59.99 euros during the sale. And in British pounds, it's 61.40, and it will be 52.19 pounds during the 11/11 sale. So right now, if you're watching this as it first is released, is a good time to get one of these. And I really like this knife. Very, very comfortable. I did resharpen it, so, it will cut quite well. And of course, a slice and cut is even better. But definitely a push cut. This steel is very good. I've not done my edge retention test on this yet, but you'll see that I'm reworking my edge retention testing over and over again until I get it just right. But this is a fairly hard steel. I'd say it's around 58, 59 hardness. When I did my sharpening, that's a subjective number. And edge retention is quite good. I will not be surprised at all if this is genuine VG10. And if it's not genuine VG10, it's pretty darn close to it. So that's a good buy. Comfortable in the hand. It does add a bit of grip with these marks on here. Really, really like this knife. So if you also like this knife and you want to buy one, please use those links. And please share this video with your friends and other people who like knives. This is the 5014. There's a sibling to this one, the 5015, in a different color, as I said earlier. And remember, he's got other knives as well at a good price that you can buy, especially during the 11/11 sale. So thanks for using the store that provided this knife to me at his own cost. I appreciate that very much. I get no kickback from him, but I just want to let you know that I did get the knife itself from him. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing. Oh, wait, one thing I wanted to mention before the end is, see, there's a little bit of jimping, two little jumps on there. So the light switch method works great, but it's just about straight over the pivot pin. So the push down method, the push button method doesn't quite work. You do have to push backwards on that flipper tab to get it to work, as you saw my finger move. So people who like that push button method, this one doesn't quite do that, but it's quite comfortable. All the corners are chamfered. There's no sharp edges except for this one right here. So there you go. Remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.